Something is shifting in your love life right now, and you can feel it even if you cannot name it yet. There is a pull happening beneath the surface, something deep and quiet and undeniable, and it has everything to do with trust. Not the kind of trust you give easily, because let's be honest, you never give trust easily. You guard it like it is the most valuable thing you own, and in many ways it is. But what is happening now is different. The energy surrounding your sign is pushing you toward a place where trust is no longer just a nice idea or something you hope for someday. It is becoming the only path forward, the only real option, and that might terrify you, or it might feel like relief, or maybe it feels like both at the same time. If you have been carrying walls around your heart, if you have been holding back from fully opening up because the last time you did it cost you something painful, this message is going to hit close to home, because the universe is not asking you to be reckless. It is not asking you to throw your heart at someone and hope for the best. What it is asking is far more powerful than that. It is asking you to choose trust as a conscious act, to stop waiting for proof and start building the proof yourself. Stay with me through every single section of this video, because each one builds on the last, and by the end, you are going to understand exactly why this moment in your love life matters more than you think. Tip 1. The wall you built was never meant to be permanent. You know the wall I am talking about. You built it with good reason. Every brick was placed there because someone taught you that vulnerability comes with a price. Maybe it was a relationship that ended badly, the kind where you gave everything and got silence in return. Maybe it was a pattern that repeated so many times you stopped counting and started assuming that love would always come with some form of betrayal attached. And so you built the wall. You made it tall and thick and nearly impossible to climb, and for a while it worked. Kept the pain out. Kept the disappointment at bay. It gave you a sense of control in a world that felt wildly unpredictable when it came to matters of the heart. But here's what nobody told you when you were building that wall. It was never supposed to be permanent. It was supposed to be scaffolding. Temporary protection while you healed, while you caught your breath, while you figured out who you were outside of the wreckage. The problem is, scaffolding that stays up too long starts to look like architecture. It starts to feel like part of the building itself. And before you know it, you are living inside a fortress that you designed to be temporary, wondering why love cannot seem to find its way in. The energy right now is shining a light on this pattern, and it is doing so with a tenderness that might surprise you. This is not about tearing down your defenses overnight. That would be reckless, and you are far too wise for recklessness. This is about recognizing that the wall has served its purpose, did its job, protected you when you needed protection. But the season is changing, and what protected you then is now the very thing preventing you from receiving what is trying to reach you. There is someone, or there will be someone, who is standing on the other side of that wall, not trying to tear it down by force, but simply waiting, patiently, consistently. And every day that you keep the wall fully intact is another day you are choosing the old wound over the new possibility. This does not mean you have to become an open book overnight. You are allowed to take your time. You are allowed to remove one brick at a time and see how it feels. You are allowed to test the waters before you dive in. But what you are not allowed to do anymore, at least not without consequence, is pretend that the wall does not exist. Because the moment you pretend it is not there, you lose the ability to choose. And choice is the most powerful thing you have right now. The stars are aligning in a way that supports slow, deliberate openness. Not naivety, not blind faith, but conscious, intentional vulnerability. The kind that says, I see you, I am scared, and I am choosing to stay anyway. That is the energy available to you right now. The question is whether you are brave enough to use it. And something tells me you are, because you would not still be here listening if you were not ready for something to change. The wall was never meant to be your home. It was meant to be your shelter during the storm. The storm is passing. It is time to step outside. Tip 2. Your intuition is speaking louder than ever. And it is time to listen. There is something happening with your inner compass right now that deserves your full attention. You have always been intuitive. That is not news to anyone who knows your sign. You pick up on things that other people miss entirely. You sense the shift in someone's tone before they even realize they have shifted. You feel the energy in a room the moment you walk in. But right now, that intuition is operating at a level you may not have experienced before, and it is trying to tell you something important about your love life. The problem is, you have gotten so used to second-guessing yourself that you might be dismissing the very signals that could change everything. Maybe your gut has been telling you that someone is more trustworthy than your fear wants to admit. Maybe it has been nudging you toward a conversation you have been avoiding, one that could open a door you have kept locked for far too long. Or maybe it has been whispering that the love you have been searching for is closer than you think, but it requires you to stop looking with your eyes and start feeling with your heart. Intuition is not magic. It is pattern recognition operating at a speed your conscious mind cannot match. It is the sum total of every experience you have ever had, every lesson you have ever learned, every heartbreak you have ever survived, all working together to guide you toward what is true. And right now, what is true is that trust is not just an option. It is the only option that leads somewhere worth going. Your intuition knows this. It has known it for a while. But your fear has been louder, and fear has a way of making itself sound like wisdom. Fear says, be careful. Fear says, remember what happened last time. Fear says, if you open up, you will get hurt again. And those warnings sound reasonable, do they not? They sound like the voice of experience. But there is a difference between caution and paralysis, and your intuition is trying to help you find the line between the two. Pay attention to the moments when your body responds before your mind catches up. Pay attention to the warmth you feel around certain people, the ease that settles into your chest when you are in the right place at the right time. Pay attention to the dreams that have been visiting you lately, the ones that feel less like random noise and more like messages wrapped in metaphor. Your subconscious is working overtime right now, processing information that your waking mind has been too busy or too afraid to acknowledge. And it is pointing you in a direction that might feel uncomfortable at first, because it is pointing you toward openness, toward trust, toward the terrifying and beautiful act of letting someone truly see you. The next section is going to take this even deeper, and what I am about to share will help you understand exactly why this moment is so pivotal. But before we go there, I want you to sit with this for a moment. Your intuition has never lied to you. It has been ignored, overruled, and shouted down by fear, but it has never once lied to you. Trust it now because it is trying to lead you somewhere extraordinary. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Tip 3. The person you are meant to trust will not look like what you expected. This is where things get interesting, and possibly a little uncomfortable, because if you are like most people born under your sign, you have a very specific idea of what trustworthy looks like. You have a mental checklist, maybe even an unconscious one, of the qualities someone needs to have before you will even consider letting them in. They need to be strong but not overbearing, loyal but not possessive, honest but not brutally so. They need to prove themselves over and over again before you will even crack the door open an inch. And here is the thing. That checklist has been protecting you for years, and it has also been keeping you from seeing what is right in front of you. The person who is meant to earn your trust in this season might not look anything like what you expected. They might be quieter than your usual type. They might express love in ways that are unfamiliar to you, ways that do not involve grand gestures or dramatic declarations, but instead show up as consistency, as patience, as the simple act of being there day after day without being asked. They might not sweep you off your feet in the way you have been conditioned to expect. Instead, they might gently and steadily build a foundation beneath your feet so solid that one day you look down and realize you have been standing on something real for the first time in your life. And that realization might not come with fireworks. It might come with tears, the kind that fall when you finally feel safe enough to stop holding everything together on your own. The universe has a way of sending us exactly what we need in packaging we did not order. And your job right now is not to evaluate the packaging. Your job is to pay attention to how you feel when you are around this person. Do you feel seen? Do you feel heard? Do you feel like you can breathe a little deeper when they are in the room? Those are the signs that matter. Not whether they match the image you have been carrying in your head for years, because that image was designed by your fear, not by your heart. Your fear wanted someone who would never have the power to hurt you. And the truth is, anyone worth loving will always have that power. The difference is, the right person will treat that power like the sacred thing it is. Stop measuring people against a template that was built from your wounds. Start measuring them against how your body responds, how your energy shifts, how your walls naturally soften when they are near. That softening is not weakness. It is recognition. It is your deepest self saying, this one is safe. This one is real. And if you override that knowing because the person does not fit the picture you painted in your mind, you will look back on this season with regret. Not because you made a mistake, but because you let fear make the decision for you. The next tip is going to challenge you even further, so take a breath and stay with me. Tip 4. Forgiveness is not about them. It is about freeing yourself to love again. Let us talk about the weight you have been carrying. And I know you have been carrying it because your sign holds onto things longer and deeper than almost anyone else. When someone hurts you, it does not just sting for a day or a week. It settles into your bones. It becomes part of the story you tell yourself about who you are and what you deserve. And over time, that story starts to harden into something that feels like truth, even when it is nothing more than pain dressed up in certainty. You have been holding on to something. Maybe a betrayal, maybe a broken promise, maybe a slow erosion of trust that happened so gradually you did not even notice until one day you realized you had nothing left to give. Whatever it is, it has been taking up space in your heart that was meant for something else. Something better. Something new. Forgiveness is one of the most misunderstood concepts in the entire human experience. And for your sign especially, it carries a weight that can feel almost impossible to bear. Because for you, forgiveness can feel like letting someone off the hook. It can feel like saying what they did was acceptable, that it did not matter, that it did not nearly destroy you. And I want to be very clear about something. That is not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is not about them. It never was. Forgiveness is the act of setting down a burden that was never yours to carry in the first place. It is looking at the pain and saying, you taught me something, and now I am done letting you run my life. The person who hurt you probably is not thinking about it anymore. They have moved on, or they have buried it, or they have told themselves a version of the story that lets them sleep at night. Meanwhile, you are still awake, still replaying the moments, still trying to figure out what you could have done differently. And every minute you spend in that loop is a minute you are not spending on the love that is trying to reach you right now. Because love is trying to reach you. It is knocking on your door, sending you signs, placing opportunities in your path. But your hands are too full of old pain to receive anything new. I am not asking you to forgive overnight. I am not asking you to pretend it did not happen or minimize what you went through. What I am asking is that you start the process. That you take one small step toward releasing the grip that old story has on your heart. Maybe it is writing a letter you never sent. Maybe it is saying out loud to yourself, I deserved better, and I am choosing to believe I can still have it. Maybe it is simply acknowledging that the unforgiveness has become heavier than the original wound, and you are tired of carrying both. Whatever your first step looks like, take it. Because on the other side of that step is a version of you who is free to love without the shadow of the past hanging over every tender moment. And that version of you, that is who is being called forward right now. That is who the universe is preparing a path for. But you have to put the weight down first. You have to choose yourself over the memory of someone who did not choose you. And I know that sounds simple, but I also know it is one of the hardest things you will ever do. Do it anyway. What comes next in this video will show you exactly how to channel that freedom. Tip 5. Vulnerability is not a risk. It is the price of admission. Here is a truth that your sign struggles with more than most. You cannot experience deep, transformative love without being vulnerable. You just cannot. There is no shortcut, no workaround, no clever strategy that lets you experience the full depth of connection while keeping your armor firmly in place. And believe me, I know you have tried. You have tried to love with one foot out the door. You have tried to open your heart just enough to feel something, but not enough to get destroyed if it falls apart. You have tried to control the process, to manage the risk, to love on your own terms in a way that keeps the power in your hands. And every time you have ended up in the same place. Connected enough to feel the loss when it ends, but never fully connected enough to feel the magic while it lasts. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It is not a flaw in your design. It is the price of admission to the deepest, most meaningful experiences that human life has to offer. And for your sign, that price can feel exorbitant. Because you know what it costs when things go wrong. You have paid that price before, and the receipt is still burned into your memory. But here is what you have not fully considered. You also know what it costs when you refuse to be vulnerable. It costs you the very thing you want most. It costs you the intimacy, the depth, the soul-level connection that your heart has been aching for. And that cost is ongoing. It is not a one-time payment. It is something you pay every single day that you choose protection over connection. The energy right now is creating conditions that make vulnerability not just possible but necessary. The universe is essentially saying you have been safe long enough, now it is time to be brave. And bravery does not mean the absence of fear. It means feeling the fear and choosing love anyway. It means looking at someone and saying, I do not know if this will work, but I know I will regret it if I never try. It means letting someone see the parts of you that you have kept hidden, the messy parts, the scared parts, the parts that still carry the fingerprints of everyone who handled you carelessly. And trusting that the right person will not run when they see all of that. They will stay. They will hold it gently. They will say, thank you for showing me who you really are. This is the moment you have been building toward, whether you knew it or not. Every wall you built was preparation for this moment of choosing to lower it. Every time you got hurt was teaching you what real love is not, so that when real love shows up, you would recognize it by the absence of all the things that came before. You are not starting from scratch. You are standing on a mountain of experience, and from up here, you can finally see clearly enough to make a different choice. The choice to be vulnerable, not because it is safe, but because it is the only thing that will get you where you want to go. And where you want to go is toward love that does not require armor. Love that feels like coming home. That love exists. It is waiting for you, but it will not force its way past your defenses. You have to open the door from the inside. Tip 6. Stop testing people and start trusting the process. I need to say something that might be hard to hear, but I say it because I know it is exactly what you need right now. You have a habit of testing people. Not overtly, not in ways that are immediately obvious, but in small, subtle ways that you might not even be fully aware of. You set up scenarios to see how someone will respond. You withdraw to see if they will come closer. You say something intentionally ambiguous to see if they will ask for clarification or just assume the worst. You create little trials, little moments of friction to see if the other person will pass or fail. And most of the time they fail. Not because they are unworthy of your trust, but because the tests were designed to be almost impossible to pass. Because deep down, part of you wants them to fail, because failure confirms the story you have been telling yourself. That people cannot be trusted, that love always disappoints, that you are better off alone. This pattern is one of the most self-destructive things your sign can do in love, and I say that not to judge you, but to wake you up to it. Because every test you create is a wall disguised as a question. Every trial you design is a trap wearing the mask of curiosity. And the person on the other end of those tests is not a subject in an experiment. They are a human being with their own fears, their own wounds, their own reasons for being cautious. And when you test them without telling them they are being tested, you are not evaluating their trustworthiness. You are evaluating their ability to read your mind. And nobody can read your mind, no matter how much your sign sometimes wishes they could. The energy right now is asking you to stop testing and start trusting. Not blindly, not recklessly, but with an openness that allows people to show you who they are without having to navigate a minefield to get there. Trust the process. Trust that the universe did not bring this person or this opportunity into your life just to watch you destroy it with suspicion. Trust that you have enough wisdom and enough experience to recognize danger without having to manufacture it. And trust that if someone is going to betray you, no amount of testing will prevent it, because betrayal does not announce itself in advance. It hides behind all the right answers, and it passes every test you could possibly design. So instead of testing, try something radical. Try communicating. Try saying, I am afraid and here is why. Try telling the truth about what you need instead of creating elaborate scenarios to see if someone can guess it. The right person will not be scared away by your honesty. They will be drawn closer by it. They will appreciate knowing what the rules are instead of stumbling through a game they did not know they were playing. And in that honesty, in that raw and terrifying act of simply saying what you feel, you will find something you have been looking for your entire life. A connection built on truth instead of performance. That is what trust looks like when it is real. Not passing tests, but building bridges. What I share in the next section will reveal something even more powerful about this transformation. Tip 7. The right love will feel uncomfortable at first, and that is how you know it is real. There is a paradox at the heart of your love life right now, and understanding it could change everything. The love that is right for you. The love that will heal you, grow you, and finally give you the depth of connection your soul has been craving. That love is going to feel uncomfortable at first. It is going to feel unfamiliar. It might even feel boring. And I know that word sends a shiver down your spine because your sign thrives on intensity. You are drawn to passion, to fire, to the kind of connection that consumes everything in its path. And there is nothing wrong with wanting intensity. But somewhere along the way you started confusing intensity with love, and they are not the same thing. Intensity is a feeling. Love is a choice. Intensity burns hot and fast, and leaves you standing in the ashes wondering what happened. Love builds slowly and steadily and creates something that lasts. The discomfort you feel when something good comes along is not a warning sign. It is a recalibration. Your nervous system has been wired for chaos, for the highs and lows that come with unstable connections, for the rush of uncertainty that makes your heart race and your mind spin. And when someone shows up who is steady, who is consistent, who does not play games or keep you guessing, your body does not know what to do with that information. It registers safety as boredom. It registers consistency as a lack of passion. It mistakes peace for the absence of love when really peace is what love feels like when it is healthy. Right now, the universe is recalibrating your definition of love. It is showing you that the butterflies in your stomach are not always a sign of something good. Sometimes they are a sign of anxiety. Sometimes that racing heart is not excitement but fear dressed up as attraction. And the calm, steady presence of someone who simply shows up for you day after day. That might not make your heart race, but it will make your heart heal. And a healed heart is capable of a depth of love that a wounded heart can only dream about. Do not run from the discomfort. Sit with it. Let it wash over you and notice what happens on the other side. Notice that the discomfort is not a sign of something wrong. It is a sign of something new. Your old patterns are being disrupted, and disruption always feels uncomfortable before it feels liberating. The caterpillar does not enjoy becoming a butterfly. The process is messy and painful and terrifying, but the alternative is staying a caterpillar forever, and you were not born for that. You were born for flight. You were born for a love that does not need drama to feel alive. A love that feels alive because it is real, because it is safe, because it allows you to finally exhale. And that exhale, that moment of releasing the tension you have been holding for longer than you can remember, that is the beginning of everything. Let it come. Let it feel strange. Let it be different from what you have known. Different is exactly what you need right now. Tip 8. Your past relationships were not failures, they were training. I want to rewrite a story that you have been telling yourself. A story that has been quietly shaping your love life in ways you might not realize. The story goes something like this. I have failed at love. I keep choosing the wrong people. I keep making the same mistakes. There is something wrong with me. That story feels true, does it not? It has the weight of evidence behind it. Years of relationships that ended badly, connections that dissolved, promises that were broken. And when you look at that track record, the conclusion seems obvious. You are bad at this. Love is not meant for you. You are destined to keep repeating the same painful patterns until you give up entirely. But here is what that story gets wrong. It measures your relationships by their endings instead of their lessons. It counts the breakups but ignores the breakthroughs. It focuses on the pain but overlooks the growth that came from it. Every single relationship you have ever had, even the ones that nearly destroyed you, taught you something essential about who you are and what you need. The person who betrayed your trust taught you what trust really means to you. The person who could not match your depth taught you that depth is non-negotiable. The person who tried to dim your light taught you that your light is worth protecting. None of those relationships were failures. They were training. They were preparing you for what is coming next. And what is coming next requires every lesson you have ever learned. It requires the discernment you developed from choosing people who were not right. It requires the boundaries you built after someone crossed every line you had. It requires the self-awareness you gained from sitting in the wreckage and honestly asking yourself, what was my part in this? That self-awareness is rare, and it is powerful, and it is the direct result of everything you have been through. You did not fail at love. You studied it. You took the hardest courses it had to offer, and you survived every single one. And now, with all of that knowledge, all of that experience, all of that hard-won wisdom, you are finally ready for something that does not require you to fight for it. Something that meets you where you are and says, I see everything you have been through. and I am not going anywhere. Stop apologizing for your history. Stop treating your past relationships like entries on a list of mistakes. They were chapters in a story that is still being written, and the chapter you are entering now is going to make every previous chapter make sense. You will look back and see the thread that connects every experience, every heartbreak, every lesson, and you will understand that nothing was wasted. Everything was leading you here, to this moment, to this readiness, to this version of yourself who is finally equipped to receive what has always been meant for you. Hold on to that. What comes next in this video will build on it in a way you will not expect. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Tip 9. Love is not something you find, it is something you allow. There is a fundamental misunderstanding that has been guiding your approach to love, and until you correct it, you will keep searching for something that is already there. The misunderstanding is this. You believe that love is something you go out and find, something that exists somewhere out there in the world waiting to be discovered like buried treasure. And so you search, you analyze, you evaluate every person who crosses your path through the lens of, is this the one? And when they fall short, when they do not meet the impossible standards your wounded heart has set, you move on and keep searching, convinced that the right love is just around the next corner. But love is not something you find, it is something you allow. And there is a world of difference between those two things. Finding is active, external, goal-oriented. Allowing is receptive, internal, trust-oriented. Finding puts the power in the search. Allowing puts the power in you. And for your sign, which craves control more than almost anything, the shift from finding to allowing can feel like free-falling without a parachute. Because allowing means letting go of the outcome. It means trusting that you do not have to hunt for love, that love is already hunting for you. And all you have to do is stop running long enough for it to catch up. Right now, the energy around your sign is creating an environment where allowing becomes not just possible but natural. The defenses you have held up for so long are starting to soften, not because they are being attacked, but because the energy around you is so gentle, so patient, so persistent, that your walls are simply losing the will to stand. And on the other side of those walls is a love that does not need you to be perfect. It does not need you to have all the answers. It does not need you to perform or prove or earn your place. It just needs you to be present, fully, authentically, vulnerably present. This is harder than it sounds, especially for you. Being present means not controlling the narrative. It means not rehearsing conversations in your head before they happen. It means not planning 3 steps ahead so you are never caught off guard. It means sitting in the moment, with all its uncertainty and all its beauty, and trusting that whatever happens, you will be okay. Because you will be. You have survived everything that has come before, and you will survive whatever comes next. But survival is no longer the goal. Thriving is the goal. And thriving in love means allowing yourself to be loved in ways you did not plan for, by someone you did not expect, on a timeline you did not design. Stop trying to find love. Start allowing it. Let it show up in its own form, in its own time, in its own way. And when it does, do not interrogate it. Do not cross-examine it. Do not put it on trial to prove its worthiness. Just receive it. Let it wash over you like warm water. Let it fill the spaces that have been empty for too long. Let it remind you of what you have always known but were too afraid to admit. That you deserve this, that you have always deserved this, and that the only thing standing between you and the love of your life has been your willingness to let it in. Tip 10. Trust is not built in a day. It is built in 1,000 small moments. Here is where everything comes together. You have been hearing me talk about trust throughout this entire video. And maybe you have been nodding along, maybe you have been resisting, maybe you have been somewhere in between. But I want to make sure you understand something essential about trust before we reach the end. Trust is not a single decision. It is not a moment where you flip a switch and suddenly become a trusting person. Trust is built in 1,000 small moments, 1,000 tiny choices, 1,000 micro decisions that happen so quietly you might not even notice them as they are occurring. Trust is built when someone says they will call and they call. Trust is built when someone shows up on time, when they remember what you said last week, when they notice you are quiet and ask if you are okay. Trust is built in the way someone handles conflict, not by winning the argument, but by staying in the room even when things get hard. Trust is built in the pauses between words, words, in the way someone looks at you when they think you are not watching, in the consistency of their presence over time. It is not dramatic. It is not cinematic. It does not happen in a single sweeping moment that changes everything. It happens slowly, steadily, like water carving a path through stone. And for your sign, this is both a comfort and a challenge. It is a comfort because it means you do not have to give all of your trust at once. You can give it in increments. You can test the ground before you take the next step. You can move at your own pace and still arrive at the destination. But it is also a challenge because it requires patience, and patience in love has never been your strongest quality. You want to know now. You want certainty now. You want to skip the messy middle and get to the part where you know for sure that this person is safe, that this love is real, that this time will be different. But the messy middle is where trust lives. It is where love grows its roots. And if you skip it, if you try to fast forward to certainty, you will end up with a connection that has no foundation, and the first strong wind will blow it away. So be patient, not passive, not waiting around for someone to prove themselves on your timeline, but genuinely deeply patient. Patient with the process, patient with the other person, and most importantly, patient with yourself. Because you are learning a new way of loving, and new things take time. You are unlearning patterns that have been with you for years, maybe decades, and that unlearning does not happen overnight. It happens in 1,000 small moments of choosing differently, choosing to stay when you want to run, choosing to speak when you want to shut down, choosing to trust when every instinct in your body is screaming at you to protect yourself. Each one of those choices is a brick in a new foundation, and that foundation is being built right now, in this season, in this moment, with every breath you take. Trust the process, trust yourself, and trust that the love you are building one small moment at a time is going to be worth every ounce of courage it takes to let it in. There is something I want to leave you with, and I want you to carry it with you long after this video ends. Everything you have heard today, every section, every insight, every challenge, it all comes back to one simple truth. You are ready for this. You are ready for a love that does not ask you to shrink. You are ready for a connection that does not require you to perform. You are ready for a partnership that is built on truth, on trust, on the kind of mutual vulnerability that turns two separate lives into something greater than either could be alone. And the reason I know you are ready is because you are still here. You did not close this video when it got uncomfortable. You did not scroll away when I talked about forgiveness or vulnerability or letting go of your walls. You stayed. And staying is the first act of trust. The love that is coming into your life, or the love that is already there waiting to be recognized, is not going to look like what you expected. It is not going to feel like the fairy tales or the movies or the grand romantic gestures you secretly fantasize about when no one is watching. It is going to feel like quiet certainty, like a hand reaching for yours in the dark, like someone saying, "I am not going anywhere," and meaning it so deeply that your body finally believes it. That love does not need you to be perfect. It does not need you to have all your baggage unpacked and neatly organized. It just needs you to show up, exactly as you are, with all your scars and all your strength and all your terrifying, beautiful willingness to try again. This is your moment. Not next month, not next year, not when you finally feel ready. Because you will never feel completely ready, and that is precisely the point. The readiness comes from the doing, not the other way around. You become ready by choosing to trust before you feel safe. You become ready by opening your heart before you have proof that it will not be broken. You become ready by deciding, in this moment, that you are done letting fear write your love story. Fear had its chance, kept you safe for a while, and you can thank it for that. But its time as the author of your life is over. From now on, you are writing the story. And the story you are writing is one of courage, of connection, of a love so deep and so real that it makes everything that came before it look like a rough draft. Do not wait for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There is only this moment, right now, with all its imperfections and all its possibilities. Take it, hold it, step into it with everything you have. The universe is not asking you to be fearless. It is asking you to be brave. And bravery, as you now know, is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that love is worth more than fear. Make that decision today. Make it tomorrow. Make it every single day until it becomes so natural that you forget there was ever another way to live. You have two options after this video. Close it and hope things shift. Or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, The structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.